Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. The Greensboro Police Department graduated 19 recruits from the 108th Greensboro Police Academy without its traditional audience at the Carolina Theater. Due to COVID-19, those who attended the ceremony at the Greensboro Public Safety Training Facility were socially distanced. The ceremony included a presentation of awards, diplomas, as well as the oath of office. The new officers completed more than 900 hours of training and instruction in more than 40 different areas of study, including interpersonal communication, problem solving, and using technology to make communities safer. As part of the communications training, recruits were taught the principles of procedural justice and implicit bias. Procedural justice is a collaborative method of listening and talking that increases mutual understanding and trust among members of the public and police. Understanding implicit bias training examines the inherent biases present in all people. Lawndale Baptist Church donated Bibles the officers used during the oath of office. The Bluebell Company plant on South Elm Street has been nominated for inclusion on the National Register of Historic Places. This is the nation's official list of properties worthy of preservation. The Historic Preservation Commission participates in the review of National Register nominations by requesting public input. A public hearing about the Bluebell property took place virtually at the end of August. City Council will consider the nomination at one of its upcoming meetings prior to it being considered by the North Carolina National Register Advisory Committee in October. The final step to being listed on the National Register is approval by the National Park Service. When a property is listed in the National Register, the owner becomes eligible for historic rehabilitation income tax credits. Listing does not restrict the owner's use of private funds to maintain or alter the property. 42 individual properties and 12 historic districts in Greensboro are listed on this national register. The last Greensboro property added to the registry took place 5 years ago. Comments about the Bluebell Company plant can be shared by October 7th. Contact Mike Cowig or Stephen Lee Geary. With guidance from the North Carolina Wildlife Resource Commission, the city has placed a temporary ban on motorized watercraft on Lake Higgins. This measure, along with an aquatic herbicide treatment, is being taken into effect to reduce the spread of the aquatic plant hydrilla. The herbicide is applied during off hours and is intended to be used in drinking water reservoirs, ponds, creeks, lakes, and streams, and is safe for aquatic life. The U.S. Department of Agriculture identifies hydrilla as an invasive noxious weed. It propagates by rooting on the bed of a lake or stream, but quickly spreads when shredded by propellers. If left untreated, hydrilla alters water chemistry and oxygen levels, outcompeting and displacing native aquatic plants. It inhibits boating, skiing, and other water-related activities. Hydrilla also provides poor habitat for diverse fish and other wildlife populations. As a result, anglers may find a decrease in the size and quantity of fish. Non-motorized watercraft can continue to access Lake Higgins. The ban will be reassessed in the spring of 2021 based on its effectiveness. In an effort to help each of us improve our quality of life, the city developed a partnership with Cone Health to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Let's take a moment to check out today's News for Your Health.
Over 1 in 3 Americans ages 18 and older have prediabetes. What is it and how can you reduce your risks? Prediabetes is when you have a blood glucose or blood sugar level which is higher than normal but not quite high enough to be diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You can reduce your risk of prediabetes and prevent it from furthering to type 2 diabetes by several things. One, you can eat a well-balanced diet, which includes fruits, vegetables, calcium-rich foods, whole grains, and protein foods. Also, you could exercise at least 150 minutes a week, which is equivalent to 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And you can also work with a registered dietitian who will help establish long-lasting healthy habits which are specific for you. Individuals who are at a higher risk of becoming pre-diabetic are those that are ages 45 years or older, who also have a BMI or body mass index of 25 or greater. Also, individuals who are 45 years old or younger who have the BMI of 25 or higher, along with high blood pressure or high cholesterol or a history of type 2 diabetes in their family or have a history of inactivity. So there are certain races and ethnicities who are more at risk: African Americans, Native Americans, Asian Americans, Latino, and Pacific Islanders. There are no clear signs and symptoms of prediabetes, which is why it's important to have routine visits with your primary care physician, because you may have it and not know it. When you go to your primary care provider, there are several tests that can be done to diagnose prediabetes. One test is a hemoglobin A1C and having a value between 5.7 and 6.4, or having a fasting blood glucose test done and your value is between 100 and 125 milligrams per deciliter, or having an oral glucose tolerance test done where your 2-hour blood glucose level reads between 140 and 199 milligrams per deciliter. So one thing that comes up a lot with, especially with the exercise, you don't have to do 30 minutes in one lump sum. You can do 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, as long as you're getting that 30 minutes within that 24-hour period. And that can be anything that gets your heart rate pumping. So if it's taking the stairs instead of taking the elevator, you don't have to make a total lifestyle change at one time. You can take small steps by, for instance, if you're skipping meals or if you miss breakfast or miss lunch, try incorporating that meal so that you're getting at least 3 meals a day. Also too, when you go to the shopping center, instead of hunting down that first parking space, you can park farther away, get in some extra steps. It is proven that when you make interventions such as lifestyle change, including changing your eating habits, having a well-balanced diet, increasing your physical activity, you can prolong being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Thank you for joining me. I hope this information has been helpful. To learn more, go to conehealth.com/diabetes. I am Donetta Floyd.
When it comes to bringing the community together on one accord, no agency does it better than the Greensboro Public Library. One City, One Book is an event that appeals to all walks of life. We'll have that story and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The Greensboro Public Library welcomes suggestions from residents for the One City, One Book community read happening in the fall of 2021. Every other year, the library, along with several community partners, leads a citywide reading of a selected book. Dynamic programs, discussions, films, theatrical productions, readings, and other activities are hosted as a way to engage the entire community around the themes of the chosen book. Suggested books should include themes that can lead to meaningful discussions about issues that can affect the community at large. The book should also be adaptable as a theatrical, musical, or other performing art. The ideal book should be suitable for library programming for all ages. Last year, the community selected Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. This resulted in more than 200 library community partner and book club programs focused on the themes of racism and immigration. More than 6,000 people participated in One City, One Book in 2019. Suggestions for the 2021 One City, One Book title must be submitted by September 30th. Send emails to Beth Sheffield, the library's adult programming coordinator. Plus One is a joint effort between United Way of Greater Greensboro and the City of Greensboro, seeking to match employers with Greensboro youth ages 16 to 24. Young people in that age group looking for a job but happen to be in need of a resume will want to register to learn how to create a winning resume. There will be a free virtual workshop hosted on Tuesday, September 15th from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Workshop topics include how to highlight experience and skills, determine your resume style, and tips for eye-catching resumes. This event is made possible through collaboration with Goodwill Industries of Central North Carolina. Carolina. Register online by Monday, September 14th. Say Yes Guilford is pleased to offer free live tutoring this fall to Guilford County school students in kindergarten through 8th grade. Registration is currently open for students in need of a tutor. Say Yes Guilford is also seeking volunteer tutors. Federal work-study students at GTCC, North Carolina A&T, UNCG, and Greensboro College will join community volunteers to work with students up to 2 hours per week through the fall semester. Tutors will be available to help students improve their skills in math, reading, science, social studies, and assist with homework. Sessions will take place one-on-one via Zoom. Say Yes Chief Impact Officer Amanda Roseman said, Say Yes Guilford established these partnerships with our local universities in the 2019-20 school year, and they were eager to expand their work to address disparities that existed before COVID-19. Say Yes Guilford recognizes the pandemic led to widespread learning loss and recognizes a collaborative community effort will be critical to addressing it. The tutoring sessions will begin on Tuesday, September 8th. It's that time of the year again for Greensboro to host the North Carolina Folk Festival. Coming up after the break, we'll take you behind the curtain for a list of performers and program options. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The coordinators of the North Carolina Folk Festival have been hard at work shifting the popular event from its in-person format to what will now be a virtual experience. Joining me now to explain how the festival will look this year is Amy Grossman. She is the president and CEO of the North Carolina Folk Festival. Hello, Amy. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, we know it's that time of the year. Every time you come and grace us with your presence, it means the Folk Festival is right around the corner. So tell me, how difficult of a decision was it to turn this into a virtual event?
Ultimately, it was not a difficult decision. Within 4 to 6 weeks after things started to kind of close down due to the pandemic, we knew we'd made a decision very early on that we wanted to do something. We knew that it would probably be a modified version, but we just kind of wanted to wait things out a little bit, see how things progressed, see how the governor decided to open up or keep things closed down. And finally, when we hit July, we knew that there was just still too much uncertainty about whether or not we'd be able to do something in person. So we just made the decision we're going all in on virtual.
Okay, well, all in it is. You have a partnership with 7 Cinematics. Tell us about that group and what does that mean in terms of being able to have their talent base behind this virtual platform?
It was, it's a very synergistic partnership. 7 Cinematics is a video and streaming company that's led by Adam Paul, who is a Greensboro native, and he has his corporate headquarters here, and it made logical sense for us to partner with them. They have experience doing this across the world, yes. And it just made sense, and we came up with the idea to really narrow in on fewer performances than you would normally see at a festival, but also to find a way to incorporate really amazing scenes from around Greensboro into what we were doing.
Okay, well, we're going to talk a little bit about that with 7 Cinematics. For folks who aren't familiar, they are Emmy award winning, and recently I believe they were in Egypt with the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's right. They did a live stream, recorded a live stream concert at the Pyramids of Giza with the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes, and now they're in Greensboro. Now, where will the community be able to watch the performances?
So folks will be able to stream it online through several avenues, through YouTube, both on the Folk Festival channel and the Cities channel, and then also on Facebook Live through the festival, and then we're lining up other partners who are also looking to broadcast it that way. Another way is GTN is going to be broadcasting it, so folks can tune in right here to see it. And then finally, one of the new partnerships that we have this year that came with 7 Cinematics is our content is going to be broadcast on a streaming concert platform called nugs.net, and that has a worldwide membership and viewership, so we're really excited to see how that goes.
Yes, and I'm sure from there you'll get some new performance options as folks see the festival and decide they want to be part of that.
Absolutely, and just get people to come to Greensboro.
Yes, we welcome it. Now, you did select landmarks. How did you go about narrowing the list of landmarks that set the backdrop for these performers?
Yeah, so that was definitely a team effort, between the staff, the board, and Seven Cinematics, of course, especially with Adam being a native of Greensboro. He was very familiar with a lot of the sites here. And we also had some community input, and especially with one of our programmatic partners, the Piedmont Blues Preservation Society, because a segment in our program is going to be dedicated to the 34th Carolina Blues Festival.
Oh, nice.
So they were part of helping to narrow that down. And we had a very long list, and we did have to cull it down finally to 9 locations. So 10 performances at 9 locations is what people can expect to see.
I'm excited. That's going to be wonderful and a really nice way to showcase the Gate City, especially when we'll have people patching in from all over the world. Now, do you envision offering a virtual platform even after COVID-19 is no longer a threat?
I think that is a possibility. I think we will learn a lot this year. We're in the fortunate position of being able to be nimble, to pivot, as a private organization, and so we're gonna take all the learnings from this year and see if there is a place for that. I'm very optimistic that there will be, and maybe it's not just going to be limited to our normal festival weekend in September. I think there could be opportunity throughout the year, and that's where the support of folks watching will be beneficial for us, and making donations to help us make sure that that happens.
Absolutely. So tell us again when the festival will take place.
So the festival is going to premiere on our normal festival dates the weekend of September 11, 12, 13. It'll kick off each night at 6 p.m. And then on the online streaming platforms, it will remain online for on-demand viewing thereafter.
Okay, wonderful. I'm so excited that festival activity did not halt as a result of COVID-19, and it sounds like you've gone even bigger, and it may be fewer performances, but I think you're putting it out there on a much larger scale. So thank you, Amy, for all your hard work, and thank you for collaborating with us here at GTN.
Yeah, thank you,
and
guys.
we are so proud and privileged to be among the outlets to be broadcasting this 2020 North Carolina Folk Festival.
Agreed. Thank you very much.
We'll come back anytime.
Thanks.
Thank you. Stay tuned for some useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city that's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. Due to COVID-19, the City Council is meeting virtually. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. City Council meetings usually take place on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building, located at 300 West Washington Street. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. Guilford County landed a Canadian designer and manufacturer of ready-to-assemble home furniture for its new U.S. manufacturing center. Pre-Pack will invest $27 million in capital investment and create more than 200 new jobs. Jim Matheson, president of Pre-Pack, said, "We appreciate the outstanding support provided by the state of North Carolina and Greensboro-Guilford County as Pre-Pack increases our footprint in the North American market. The Greensboro, High Point, and Guilford County market offer an excellent talent base and logistical advantage as we grow our business and serve our loyal customers." Known as Project Maple, the economic development team first met company officials 1 year ago when the company began searching for a new location. Pre-Pack needed the right mix of a talented workforce, ideal location for logistics, and an existing building. The company will be located at a new spec building in the Rock Creek Center in Whitsett. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first we have an important message regarding COVID-19.
Remember the 3 W's. Wear a cloth face mask covering, wait 6 feet from others, and wash your hands often. By working together, we can adjust to this new normal and continue to save lives.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. The Greensboro Parks and Recreation Department is hosting Drumming with Melody, a virtual percussion class for all ages. Lessons will be taught on Wednesdays from 5 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. starting September 16th and wrapping up on October 7th. This class is free, but registration is required. Participants can register online. This drumming program allows students to learn how to turn basic household items into a percussion instrument. Instructor Melody Rose will provide lessons in simple rhythms and composition that will build each week, culminating in drum circle by the end of the program. These sessions will meet via Zoom. For a wide range of virtual and socially distanced events and activities offered by the City of Greensboro, visit the city's website. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO Shoutout. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO Shoutout. This week's shout-out goes to the NC Works team. The NC Works Career Center in Greensboro partnered with Allegiance Staffing to host a drive-through career fair. This took place on August 28th at the NC Works facility on West Meadowview Road. Some of the featured job openings included machine operator, custodial, warehouse, forklift operator, and mechanics. Starting wages range from $11.50 per hour to $14 per hour. Way to go, NC Works. Please remember, as more places continue to open, wear your face covering, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands often. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro, and now GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.